Hi everybody, Violet Phoenix here. I thought I would do kind of a the more you know kind of a video here. And now that I just started speaking, my little rescue dog came out from the blankets to see what is going on. So I wanted to be able to give a little heads up about endometriosis. So the thing is, I didn't know anything about endometriosis until I actually had it. So I really wish, and then once I had it, I started seeing commercials for some medicine for it. And so basically, I really wish women and men would get tested because men can get it as well. It's not just a female thing. And I also wanted to put on my new face mask and talk about this. Starskin close-up firming Bio-Cellulose face mask firming. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this on and talk about endometriosis. So here we go. Let all of you know my situation, my story. So basically, I was having a lot of issues with my periods. And for me, I don't know which side goes on what, so let me take a look at this thing for a second. Step one. Apply this. Super protective. Okay, I guess there are several layers of this that I have to take off, so that makes this kind of complicated. Okay, so just so you guys know, I had to take off one layer. Now I'm having to take off a second layer. Okay, so a little complicated. No. I'm putting it on my face. Okay. Interesting scent. Smells a little bit like cotton, like that clean cotton scent kind of at Yankee Candle. So kind of a clean linen laundry kind of scent. Anyway. Okay, so here's the deal. I'll let you guys know if this face mask is any good. I got it in my Ipsy bag today. I still feel product in there too, so that's always a good sign. You can use some on your hands and neck and such. But for now, I just wanted to talk about this a little bit before the video gets too long. So I couldn't really speak for men and what they might go through, but for me, I continued to have issues with my period. Now, I used to always have a period that was like clockwork until my thyroid started messing up. And then it was a sign, so they said, you know, have you ever had your thyroid tested? And I was like, I don't recall, so that's gonna have to be a no. So anyway, they tested my thyroid and they saw that I had hypothyroidism. This was years ago. So basically, ladies, please keep in mind if you have fluctuations with your period, get your thyroid tested. It's something very important to do. And so it was really hard for me at that time to realize I was going to have to take a pill for the rest of my life, because when my doctor told me, I was like, oh, okay, I'll be taking that pill. Okay, and for how long? Oh, the rest of your life. And I was like, what? So it was actually really devastating to me, because I don't want to feel dependent on anything or anyone, to be quite frank with you. I've always been a very independent type spirit, not necessarily because I'm so stubborn and it's all about me, but because I didn't have individuals that I could count on, and besides my grandma, but she didn't live close. So, I mean, I grew up with her teaching me things and such, but then we moved away from her. So Anyway, I, had to take care of myself and such. So the point is, I didn't want to have to be reliant on a medication. So anyway, so I found out I had hypothyroidism. Then came all other different kinds of issues. I'll get into that some other time. But for tonight, I just want to talk about endometriosis, really. So I started having, first of all, my thyroid has still been messing up recently. For the past couple of years, it's really not been under control, and my primary care, bless her, is really trying her best to help me. I think I'm going to get to a point where I'm going to have to see an endocrinologist, and get some extra help there, because it's just not being regulated. So anyway, long story short, because you think, well, your periods are really bad and such, and so could it be because of the thyroid, etc.? I mean, I have a lot of different issues. Well, it started to be where, I was just bleeding for months at a time and becoming anemic and really, really depleted and such. The problem is I really do wait too long to get help, usually, for myself. So I went to my gynecologist, and we talked about all the different things it could be and such, and she decided to do laparoscopy. And that's when she found that I had stage IV endometriosis. So apparently that's the only way you really can find out 100% that you do have it, is to have a surgery where they literally can see it. It does not show up on an ultrasound. It doesn't show up in different imaging techniques and such. It has to literally be physically seen, through a camera or what have you, the laparoscopy situation thing, instruments. So we had to decide the next course of action, because she was wonderful and humble enough to let me know that it was far too advanced and far too complicated and out of her realm of expertise. And so she was able to help me connect to some specialists in Orlando. And when the time came, I had 3 different specialty surgeons all working on my insides at the same time. A full hysterectomy was needed, so my uterus, my ovaries, and I had it wrapped around different organs. For example, my large intestines were damaged. I had to have my anus reset. I know that's so gross and blah, 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 but I'm just being honest. I was very damaged inside because of this. People need to know this, okay? So it can even spread into people's brains, okay? So basically, they cut all of it out that they could get to and such. They reset what they could. My organs had been literally moved into the wrong spaces and such, which is one of the reasons why I was in so much pain, etc. And I have a very high pain threshold, and I'm so used to being in pain because I've always had scoliosis and lots of different issues and such, and I'm just used to constant pain. So for me, it's just my normal. But anyway, it really did a number on me, and it's taken a long time to heal from the surgery. I'm still healing emotionally from the concept of being, I don't want to say a young woman because I'm 43, but to have already, gone through menopause and such. And it's pretty soon, I believe it's going to be in February. It should be 2 years since my surgery. So I'm already, I'm not a specialist about menopause, but my gynecologist told me it was medically induced menopause. So, but the thing is, I only really felt you know, the hot flashes and such, and discomfort and night sweats and things like that for about a week after the surgery. So I really couldn't say if they were connected to menopause or if they were connected to just healing from surgery and my body trying to regulate and such, and my thyroid and all of that. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about endometriosis and the fact that I still, basically I've been starting to have terrible abdominal pain again. And I had asked my gynecologist when everything was done before, because I was like, yay, so I never have to come back for another pap smear. This is kind of a good thing, right? And she was like, are you kidding me? You still have a vagina. Of course you still need pap smears. So I'm like, oh. So that's something people need to know. You will still need to have pap smears in case you're just curious. And also, I'm not in any kind of hormone treatment. I've asked if I needed to be, but I was told unless I have, really severe symptoms of different things, to just, let nature take its course, kind of. And I would have to say, thank God that I don't feel like people describe typical menopause, that they go through. I spoke to my aunt briefly about it, and she had told me that when my grandma went through menopause, that she basically said it was a breeze. And so hopefully it's just good genes on that part. I have so many other aspects of my body that are just deteriorating and in such a poor state that there are a few things. For example, my blood pressure is usually just like yahoo. So to have supposedly already gone through menopause, it's like, okay, cool, that's done. So ticked off the box. I'm also apparently immune to chicken pox. I found that out when I was younger, which was kind of interesting too. So there's I've got a few interesting things. But as far as endometriosis, just please get tested if you can. If you experience abdominal pain, if your periods are different, if you're bleeding, whatever kind of pains they can seem strange, please listen to pain. If it happens to me to be endometriosis, it can spread. I had it spreading throughout my whole abdominal cavity. It did I'm not going to go into all the details. I gave you a few details, but it did severe damage. For example, something that just came to mind, because I'm trying to get back into that moment of how can I help people. If your bowel movements are incredibly painful, it would just take the breath out of me. It's so stabbing, so painful to have a bowel movement, and I would just ignore it and ignore it and ignore it and ignore it. If you're going through something like that, don't ignore it. If you have bleeding after using the restroom, don't ignore it. I really wish that I would have gotten things taken care of sooner, and perhaps I wouldn't have the damage to the different organs inside me now, but I have damage to the organs inside me now. And so I had asked my gynecologist when everything was said and done, like I was saying before, what now? What if it comes back? And she had said, well, since you don't have a uterus or ovaries anymore, you won't produce hormones that usually cause it to grow. So hopefully it won't come back because it won't have something to be fed with or grow from, etc. But there is a chance it definitely can come back. And so I said, well, then what do we do? And she basically told me that there is nothing that can be done. So that wasn't too awesome. Also, just to let everybody know, I did a lot of research on this when I was first diagnosed. And I even had a clinic in California tell me that the only way to get rid of endometriosis was to fly there, pay $25,000 basically in cash up front for the surgery. They would take out each organ and slough off, kind of like if you're grating cheese, slough off each organ until they got down to healthy tissue, reset it into your body, etc. That's the only way to actually truly get rid of endometriosis. I heard everything from that to what I had done. I mean, so, you know, I don't know all of the answers. All I know is that please do what you can to help yourselves and get tested and get checked and get it cut out if you've got it, or removed or shaved or sloughed or whatever you want to say. Get the help that you need. Don't ignore pain, and don't let it spread. Thank goodness it hadn't spread up to my heart or, cut off my large intestine completely to where I needed a colostomy bag now or something, so I let it go for way too long. I was also very nervous because I kept trying to research where's the best place to do this. How can I get it set up? Where should I go? Who do I trust? This is a huge surgery. And I was so overwhelmed, and I actually had help from my pain management doctor, Dr. Kalman, who is now working in North Carolina, and Dr. Lum, who is now retired, my gynecologist. She was so awesome. I'm going to miss her so much. And so they guided me through the process. And I do have to say that as far as the lead doctor in Orlando that was leading the team, I'm trying to remember his name. I've actually pushed it out of my mind because he never checked on me after the surgery. Didn't even come in to see if I had woken up from the anesthesia, anything. Usually the doctors will check on me and say, hey, everything went okay, you're going to be all right, we'll get your husband, etc. I never saw him. I woke up in the hospital and some girls started doing something to me, and I said, hold on just 1 second. Do I have stitches, or am I taped, and they said, what are you talking about? You didn't even have surgery. What are you I mean, they started like arguing. I was like, wait a second. Yes, I did have surgery. So I've had many surgeries, and so I was like, can you please call my doctor or someone connected to what's happened to me before you start doing that? I can't remember what they were trying to do. But I just knew that it wasn't right. And then this woman came in and she was like, what are you doing to her? She just got out of surgery. Don't move her. Don't this, don't that. And they were like, oh, oops. Anyway, so I couldn't even get him on the phone. None of the staff ever got him. I never saw him. I never saw him at all, ever again. Since before surgery, when I asked him, can you please take pictures of my uterus when you take it out and my ovaries, because I would really like to see how extensive the damage was. And he promised to, and he never did that. So yeah, I'm trying to remember his name. Of course I have it somewhere, but the point is I can't give him a recommendation. But if anyone was really curious and says, hey, I need to have the surgery done in Orlando and I don't want to go to the guy you went to, ask me and I'll find the name and I'll let you know. Anyway, long story short, it was a very, very difficult surgery for me to heal from. Things did not go well. I had an allergic reaction to different things. It was not a good hospital stay, and the aftercare was terrible. And I got to a point where I actually refused to even go back to Orlando to even have him pretend to see me, because I was trying to make complaints that he wasn't even checking in or giving me pain meds or anything after the surgery. So I let my doctor here, Dr. Lum, take over my care. So I signed off on that for her to do all my aftercare from the surgery. So anyway, that's a little bit about my story of stage 4 endometriosis. And please be careful. If you have it, please, please, please get help. Please get help. Please get help. Don't wait too long. Because if I would have waited longer, I would probably have a colostomy bag and many other issues. It was doing a number on my large intestine, small intestine, bladder, ruined my uterus and ovaries, etc., etc., etc. It was going everywhere, and it was just wrapped. It was bad. So thank goodness, I thank God for his help in guiding the surgeons, and I've been having really bad abdominal pain again, and I had ultrasound set up by my primary care, and I was like, I don't even know why you guys are doing these, because I know for a fact that you can't see endometriosis on ultrasounds, and the tech was like, yeah, you're totally right, so I don't know why your doctor's doing this either, but at least she's trying to help, because I was thinking to myself, maybe she's just trying to rule different things out, you know, so there is a point, trust the process, try to be patient, you know, maybe she's going to rule out liver issues or this or that or a tumor or, you know what I mean? So anyway, right now I'm passing a kidney stone. I have bilateral kidney stones, so that's really been a struggle. It's a whole other issue, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about endometriosis tonight. It was on my heart, it was on my mind, and I wanted to try out this face mask and let everyone know if it's worth purchasing. You know, it actually feels nice and cooling. I needed some moisture. It feels nice and moisturizing. Like I said, the smell is pleasant. It's Starskin Close-Up Firming Bio-Cellulose Face Mask. I don't have anything negative to say about it, other than it's a teensy bit complicated because I didn't expect there to be two things to remove. So a little bit different, but maybe that's good because it was locking in the moisture and keeping things really great for your face. So I would like to be able to talk about the ingredients. Oh, interesting. I'm reading here, it says, tip, refrigerate mask for 10 minutes before use to enhance its energizing effects. For the ultimate radiance, first exfoliate with award-winning Starskin Glow Star Foaming Peeling Puff. Well, I exfoliated with a coffee scrub. So, step 1 is cleanse face and pat dry just before opening sachet. Use fingertips to gently distribute serum evenly. Oh. Okay, so I guess I was supposed to put the serum. I didn't know that. So I guess I was supposed to put this on first. Always read directions first, people, please. Step 2, tear away white protective layer, apply mask, B on face, and remove second protective layer C. Smooth out the mask to remove any air bubbles. Step 3, leave on for 15 to 20 minutes, remove and discard, gently put in remaining serum, do not rinse. Okay, well this is 23 minutes that I've had it on, so definitely long enough. And I am going to have some strawberries and cheese and grapes. I hope perhaps this information helps somebody somehow. And if you have any questions, please feel free to be in touch. Again, this is Scarlet Phoenix. Please like, subscribe, get to know me better. Let's be friends. And remember, we're all magic.